We've got the thing here in the background, if you hear it, that's eggs boiling. I've got this much sweet relish, and we've got one, two, three dozen eggs in the fridge. So I didn't want the eggs to go bad at the bottom of the pile, so I took the bottom of the pile eggs and put them into boil for 25 minutes. Then I'm gonna take the sweet relish, some Miracle Whip, and some Dijon mustard, and mix it all together and make some egg salad, one of my son Noah's favorites, right? And so I'm sitting there. I got to get caught up. I'm redoing a dynasty on my 2014 with my Western New Mexico Mustangs, and Grand Canyon's my rival, and Cal State LA is Grand Canyon's rival. We replaced all the military academies because I was in the military and abused by the military horrifically, and we need to stop murdering people over money. And we can't send people to institutions to be trained to do that as if it's a sane and rational human behavior, right? So we got to eradicate that from the face of the planet. And the way to do that is understand the thoughts, words, and actions of a molecular human being, okay, a structure that replicates, that contains the same spirit of a same human being, okay, throughout time. Yeah. And that molecular human being, he told us to forgive, debt and trespass, love one another, eternal faithful peace, right? And he told us that all you have to do is teach this love and connect to this love in prayer, and then be fruitful, multiply, and you'll get a kid like me. Okay. It's in the Bible. It's in Buddhist prophecy with the Krishna. That's how we got Judah Krishnamurti, same thing. Okay. You have to have faith, make love, and then faithfully love your children. And then you'll constantly have someone there, to have Krishna instead of Vishnu. Jesus instead of Adam instead of Lucifer. Jesus instead of Tiberius, Caesar. Joseph and Moses instead of Pharaoh. Daniel instead of Nebuchadnezzar. Okay, so this isn't really hard. Religion is really easy. It's not hard to ascertain or understand. It's even more mind-crushing than the kids in the hall, crushing. And so it's real easy. Religion is one of the easiest things on the planet to understand because it's very simple. It's just the truth is, like that one guy who thought he was a philosopher at Lowe's hardware store, that question, came up, how they all come up and then ask me questions, and then I'll sit there. Guy asked me a question, what is truth? I said, life is eternal, grace is infinite. He says, we can't talk, and he keeps talking. It's like, why the fuck do you say we can't talk, and you keep talking? And I kept trying to talk to him, and he kept saying, no, you have to be convinced that these philosophers are geniuses. I will never be convinced that a philosopher is a genius. Anybody who thinks they can trap the glory of omniscience in the mind, okay, is not a genius. They're a complete idiot. They just need to go read Pascal, come back in about, a day, and, okay, play as Pascal. Even though his writings have been corrupted by the Vatican, because the people that commissioned him to use science and mathematics to eradicate scientifically and mathematically all of the religions except for Christianity, and of course in Pascal's Panisse, with the wager, he says that's folly and it's impossible. That you just merely need have faith in infinite glory and understand that your eternal existence through loving each other will be heaven when you're faithful. That's pretty much Blaise Pascal in a nutshell. Okay? And that's why he adores the Gospels. Because when he adores the Gospels, he looks at the people. And then the way scientists see it, they see it as, because I always tell people, I can't love myself. It's impossible to love myself. Okay? I have to love others. Can you sexually reproduce with each other yourself, protozoa? Okay. No. Well, then, shut up. God dang, you guys are retarded. Okay, so, but I was sitting there. I've been watching. I got to get caught up on a lot of these. I got to watch the Toronto football team. I got to watch University of Colorado. I'm not as interested in Colorado as I am in Toronto. And then how Southern Miss does in the SEC. And then, what's the other one he got that I ain't watched? Oh, the kid, the 6'5" running back from South Florida because his mom is sick, who's staying in Tampa with her. I may watch that one too. I want him to play New Mexico State. I don't know if that wouldn't be me. They don't seem to even though you have two major universities in the state of New Mexico, okay? And you can get better recruits out of the state of Idaho than you can out of New Mexico. And you're like, are you sure about that? Apparently so. Right? Apparently Albuquerque and Hobbs and Clovis and Las Cruces and a bunch of those just don't produce as good of athletic talent as Boise and Moscow and Caldwell and Coeur d'Alene and Pocatello. It's Pocatello. It's a Spanish word. It's Pocatello. It's not tello. We don't say it's two L's in Spanish is pronounced ia. Okay. Pocatello. It's not Pocatello. Okay. Just, you know, you say, where I live, it's called the Mesilla Valley, but people call it the Mesilla Valley because they pronounce it wrong. Okay. You just have to understand the pronunciation. So if you want to learn how to speak Spanish and you pronounce Spanish words properly, you just go amosan, two L's is ia, and you know, so it's not that hard. Like Hawaiian is really easy, but for some reason it's hard for me. I guess it's the whole only having 8 consonants and all those vowels, you know. But me and Hawaiian people, really nice Hawaiian guys, like the guys that are friends of Chad on Blue Hawaii. And Hawaiian women, me and Hawaiian women just always have a wonderful relationship. Macho Hawaiian guys, asses and elbows, they start shit with me, but then I look at them, they're like, why am I scared to death of this old 5'11" fat guy? It's like, because I can rip your balls off and feed them to you, or a shark and say, here, eat the rest of them. Which, oh yeah, I can. just ask trained murderers at Fort Huachuca. You don't want to fuck with this guy. His dopamine, his endorphins go off. He looks like, you know, Uncle Fester's cousin because we tried to poison him to death, and he's badass. Well, I thought about it the other day when I was soaking in my bathtub in Epsom salts to get the chemical poisoning, keep it neutralized. And I sat and thought about it with COVID-19. And I was like, when I got COVID back in November of 2019, okay, poor people in New Mexico were dying of COVID way before it hit the Pac-10 and the NBA, or Pac-12. Sorry, I'm old. Before it hit the Pac-12, it's only because I learned that in history class in college at Phoenix College from Professor Coffeen. We only have a problem in the United States with problems when it hits the upper middle class. If it's the lower class, it's not a problem. It's ethnic cleansing, and it needs to be done like Ebenezer Scrooge and decrease the surplus population. But so where was I again? Oh yeah. Yeah, I was in a store that has genocidal legalese, okay, that has chemicals that I clean up with no hazmat suit in the back of a meat locker, okay? And in that store, they have a Western Union that provides migrant girls to human trafficking through the surveillance cameras, right? And I'm trying to talk them into being good people, and boy, those people at Baylor University would rather win basketball championships for money than stand up for the Messiah to live the Lord's Prayer. Kind of like touchdown Jesus at Notre Dame, right? And so, sarcasm, yeah, I'm excellent at it. But so I'm sitting there and I'm going, you know, I got COVID and I didn't have healthcare benefits, so I got sick on a Tuesday and I had to be back before Friday, because if you're sick on the weekend and you don't have a doctor's note, they will fire you. And I have $1,000 to pay the emergency room, so I couldn't afford to be fired. So I had to sit there with the first stages of COVID, take NyQuil and Mucinex, and sleep under my neck killing me under like 3 or 4 pillows to keep my neck up, to keep me from drowning my own fluid. Then went back to work in a meat locker with chemicals that kill most people. And then they fired me right before COVID protocols, okay? Because I helped a young man not get in a sexual relationship with one of my coworkers who was trying to get in a sexual relationship with him. And she went and she talked to me about getting gang raped by gangs in Albuquerque and all this stuff. And one time I was talking to one of my friends about her husband, or her living husband, or her common law husband, who's a friend of mine. And she said, you know, I'm trying to get Alex to exercise and work out with me. And I just will just tell him when he exercises, it will help. The benefits will be amazing to his sex life. And that's enough to get any guy started. I was fired because of that. Okay, because I offended Ruby. I was like, this is the same girl who tried to pick up on a guy who I told her who I told him he shouldn't have an affair for because her husband makes twice as much money as they do. He'll get the kids and they'll both end up paying child support and he'll be making $10 an hour living with her and having sex with her while he has to pay child support to his baby mama in Albuquerque and help her pay child support to her baby daddy here. Okay. No, I'm a little bit more intelligent than most people. And she got mad at me because the guy wouldn't engage in an affair with her, so she got me fired. Which was impulsed by NASA to get me out of there because I wasn't going to quit. And they weren't going to, the linguistics they're using on their algorithms couldn't get people with economics to murder me with chemical poisoning. They're playing algorithm linguistics games with my life and your life too. Okay, NASA's a sick bunch of fucks. That's why I had that guy engage me in that conversation about philosophy. And I tried to explain to him, I've listened to just about every philosopher from here to Tijuana, back from 10,000 BCTE till now. Okay. Just life is eternal, grace is infinite. Okay. If you believe in it, you can live a loving, faithful, eternal life. If you don't, you are a threat to the eternal symbiotic relationships and components that require a life of sacrifice, that are required for a life of sacrifice to obey the natural laws given to us by an infinite essence. So it's real simple. But yeah, but needless to say, I'm going to go back and watch James because I really like James. I know it's how he pays his bills, but once we're living the Lord's Prayer, as long as the room is real ventilated and it doesn't have NIL, because NIL's for retards, right? He'll have some kind of a game. It will have better recruiting things. It will be less cheating and stuff like that. But it will have difficulties to make it challenging and fun because we like to play games and we like to do well and win. And we don't want to cheat to win because cheaters suck, right? Like scientists, right? As scientists, yes, they rig everything to make you feel inadequate and then give it to them and say they're the great problem solvers. Now we need all their technology and their money and they're fucked. Oh, trust me. Been dealing with these assholes my whole life. I was born in Las Cruces, New Mexico, and they had people up Fort Huachuca, tell me that they basically, because my life is in the book of Revelation, have been watching me since before I was born, and they've been comparing themselves to me since before I was born. And I was like, that was pretty stupid. Why don't you stand up for the Lord's Prayer? Then you wouldn't have to compare yourself to me and feel inadequate every time you don't stand up for the Lord's Prayer with me. It's not that hard. So, yeah, but I really like James Bordeaux. So I'm going to load this one up, label it I like James Bordeaux, and then we'll go on. James, what the hell is he talking about? I'm the guy like Jesus. There's always everybody in every generation that's someone like Jesus. It's not reincarnation. You can't step in the same river twice. It's just the Spirit is an eternal river of life, providing life's temples. As long as we have water and spirits and life to provide life to the temple, we will share memories and life with the people that were in the past. That's how we're able to communicate. That's why we have prophecy. That's why past, present, and future operate at the same time, and we're able to communicate at the same time, like Albert Einstein explained, which is also explained in every religious source of document of religious expression. Okay, guys, I love you. I was trying to find a way to say it intelligently without sounding like I was an organization asking for money for God, right? Okay, guys, I love you. Peace.